Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people from the time period of February 14th to February 20th, 2021. And I've picked a couple cards already for this spread, just laid them out here. This is the theme card for the week. This is the energy you should be keeping for the rest of the week. And this is the advice that Spirit has for you guys. Now, just a disclaimer, I am new to posting videos on YouTube at all of readings. I've been doing this for 6 or so years, but I have never posted a video, so my bad if the audio or video quality is a little bit off. I'm still learning. We'll get there as time goes on. And the backdrop, I made this. I'm not a painter. I'm a tarot reader, so it's not amazing, but we have what we have, and we're gonna work with it. And my bad if I put cards upside down by accident. I'm reading from a different direction, so I will try not to do that and fix it as I go along. Just be patient with me, you guys. I am really excited to be doing this, and I really hope this resonates with you and that you enjoy it. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So, the theme for this week is perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Okay? And then the energy you need to be keeping this week is from the Kingfisher, and it's be patient and focused. Also, sorry about my nails. These are not, it's not permanent. And the advice from Spirit is you're very close to achieving your goal, so the gibbous moon. Alright, so what I got right after pulling these cards was I feel like this week is going to be a period where maybe more mundane setbacks start to happen to you, and it's going to start to get to you a little bit. For example, like there may be a lot of, like say you may have a lot of car problems, or there may be some schedule mishaps, and we are still in Mercury retrograde period. I believe this is the last week. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that, or close to the last week. So this may be kind of like the final bang in your life where, how do I say it, where your patience is running so thin because things keep happening to you that aren't the greatest, or you're focused on smaller problems in your life that really aren't the primary goal that you should be worrying about or wondering about at this time. And Spirit is trying to ask you to zoom out a little bit and look at your life and focus on what really matters for you at this time, and be very patient with the way that things are going, because I feel like this is just a time of trial and tribulation for you guys that's just going to push you in the right direction and really solidify that goal for you at the end of the day, if that makes any sense. I feel like there's something at the back of your mind that you've been trying to push for and work towards, and maybe there are a lot of setbacks towards this thing that have been happening, and Spirit's just trying to tell you, be patient, ride with it, focus on yourself, be calm, and things will work out for you. So yeah, I hope that resonated a little bit. And now we're gonna get into the Celtic or Celtic cross spread. I have been saying that word wrong, and I don't want to keep mispronouncing it, so I'm saying it both of the ways that I think it's pronounced. Hello, Mercury retrograde. It has been affecting me as well. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So I'm going to be asking about like a general situation in your guys' life. Nothing specific in mind. We'll just read whatever pops up in this format. Okay, so the first card I got for you guys is Release. So the Death card. Put that there. And then we'll get the conflict or challenge for you guys for this week. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, and then what's going on below the surface or on your subconscious at this time. We got 2 cards, we'll use them. Okay, so we have the 4 of Cups and the King of Air. So the King of Swords. Okay, and then for the past, what in your past has led you to this point? Okay, so we got the Page of Pentacles. Okay, and then can I get like your conscious hopes and fears, or what's really going on above the surface, what image you're putting on? We have the Sun. And then what's the most likely outcome for the near future for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements? Have the 8 of Swords. Also, sorry about this deck being so bent up and out of shape, but this is like my favorite deck of all time. I've had her forever, and I feel like she's my most trustworthy, so I use it quite a bit. Sorry, I will. It's not like I damage it on purpose, it's just well loved. Let's just say that. And the Hermit reverse is the card at the bottom of the deck for you guys. Okay, so let's just hop right into it again. With death as your main theme and the wheel crossing it, right away, I see for you guys something is ending for you, or something has just recently ended for you, and it is a like fated life event or a destiny occurrence that was meant to happen. It's pushing you on the direction of your life path. And I'm just gonna get a clarifier on what this death could symbolize for you at this time. We have the Mother of Swords, oopsie, in the reverse. And we'll pull one more for the theme and challenge. That was way too many. I'll just pull one more. We have the 2 of Swords. Okay, so for this, I could see it being something that you're probably thinking extremely rationally about. Maybe you're being kind of harsh with your thinking process or your words at this time, but I think it's something that you're having a very hard time either making a decision about or like expressing your decision about, if that makes sense. I have a feeling though that you're still kind of confused on what you're doing or what needs to be done for this either to end or for you to, you know, like the new beginning after the end, if that makes any sense. Like, where do we start now? With the theme being the Hermit in the reverse though, I can see you guys either reaching out a little bit more at this time or saying the things you learned about this experience or the things you've learned up till this point, especially with the Page of Pentacles in the past. I think you're coming out with more of, like, you're expressing that more this week. You're saying what knowledge you have learned, and you are, I feel like, very confident in this knowledge, even though it's leading you down a path where you know things have to end in order to make sense. I'm getting a clarifier for the Page of Pentacles, sorry, and we got the 7 of Swords and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so I think for you at this time, either you learned something, like, either you learned a valuable lesson when it comes to how other people may not treat you the way you want to be treated, like a manipulative person may have taught you this lesson by being manipulative to you, and you realize, hey, you know, I'm not here for that new beginning. We don't stand for that anymore. And this may lead to the release of this type of person here, the 7 of Swords energy. Or you came to a conclusion within yourself where you were like, okay, maybe I'm being a little bit not honest with others or myself right at this moment, and that's not right, and I shouldn't be doing that at this time. So I need, and you may have had this realization, this spark, and either this behavior has to end, and whatever falls with it falls with it. But I have a feeling, though, at the same time, that you may be putting on some type of facade. Let's see why the Sun is in the conscious hopes and fears. You may just be searching for happiness in general. Why is the Sun on the top of the spread for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people? You have the Five of Wands. Sorry, I'll show it to you. Five of Wands. And the Ten of Cups reversed. So I think it may be some type of happiness facade. When it comes to the people around you in your life or the way you're presenting yourself, you may not be expressing this feeling of, okay, something needs to end. You may know what it is, you may not. With this Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck, I do have a feeling that you do know what needs to end. I feel like you're finally being picky when it comes to who you have in your life and who you don't. And the Nine of Pentacles kind of expressing that maybe you want to be more independent and to yourself at this time as well, and maybe not reach out to others. So your way of doing that is by putting on everything's fine on the outside, even though you have a lot of inner conflict and you may not be emotionally satisfied at the end of the day. This could be a romantic relationship we're talking about right now, or it could be like with a friend. I feel like this realization is about somebody who's very close to you, like a mother or a father or a sibling or a friend or a relationship. Like close people, I guess. Or it's within yourself. One of the two, it could be both. But I feel like whoever made you realize what you're not going to put up with and kind of taught you that life lesson, like, okay, so I need to be more independent, I need to be bold, I need to be assertive, I need to start this new path that I'm on, and I need to do it like with some fire, with some desire, you know what I mean? And I feel like this person kind of pushed you in that direction, whether they tried to or not, if that makes any sense. I'm not really getting that this person tried to do any of this on purpose. We could go back and see. I'm going to do a romance spread in a couple of minutes anyways, so if it has to do with romantic readings, we'll see there as well. But still, I feel like you're over analyzing a lot of the information that you have been presented with, though, with the King of Air at the bottom, so the King of Wands. I feel like you're being very rational, like especially with these two cards on the table right now. I feel like when it comes to this decision making, you're not necessarily listening to your feelings, you're listening to your rational mind, where you're like, this is the logical right thing to do right now. This makes the most reasonable sense for this ending to take place, or for this new transformation that I'm going to go on, or this new change, because something has brought this on and made it quite clear to you, even though that may be part of the struggle as well, where you're like, wow, this is just another life lesson. Okay, sick of those, which I understand, but that could be Spirit's way of telling you that, you know, you're on the right path as well. Things were meant to go this way because it is a part of, you know, your purpose on this planet. And I know this may sound a little bit strange, but everything kind of leads up to everything eventually, if that makes sense. Nothing happens for no reason, you know. Everything has a reason for taking place. So whatever this is that you're going through, Spirit's trying to remind you as well that it was meant to happen, even though it may be very challenging. Maybe you didn't expect this. Maybe this kind of came out of nowhere with this realization that you went through, or this lesson you learned within yourself. Maybe it just kind of hit you like a wall of bricks that, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be doing it, or this is the way to say this, or this is the way to go about the situation. And it was totally different than the way you've been going before. With this whole, if this is you over here, all of this, and not someone else that made you realize this, I feel like you may have realized to yourself that you weren't being fully honest. or expressing yourself in the way that you wanted to. So this realization of yours is I need to be more bold and assertive and not hide within myself and not just let people walk all over me and like plot against them in the shadows, if that, you know, makes any sense. But this little card looks like that's what he's doing, is kind of like plotting on the downfall of someone. So if that was you at all, I feel like you kind of came out of that and you're like, okay, I need to be more upfront with my feelings. This is the right thing to do. I feel like you're being very logical, and with the mix of the sun on top, I can't see you being totally like cutting and rude. I can see you being very carefree though, and kind of like nothing is affecting me at this time, I'm great, even though there's a lot of conflict in your life or within yourself and within the way you're feeling. I feel like the energy you're putting out into the world is I'm good. Nothing really matters anyways. I don't know if that makes any sense, but while on the inside you are definitely seriously considering something. So for the future, with the Eight of Wands, or I'm sorry, the Eight of Swords, I can see that maybe you're frantically, let me just get one card to clarify that, to see if it is what I'm thinking, or if we can go in another way with this. Okay, we do have the Hermit that's coming up upright. So maybe in the future, I could definitely see yourself overthinking. Like if you're not overthinking now, I could see more overthinking in the future, and a lot of meditating on your new beginning and your new, like, not something you're gonna rush into right away. It's something that you're trying to build a solid foundation on first before you start it. And I think that right now you feel like you can't get to this at all, like this type of beginning at all. I feel like you're on shaky ground still, and you know it, and it's making you feel trapped and nervous about where your life is going to go. So I feel like what you do is you're either going to spend a lot of time alone or really self-reflect, and it might be something you're not doing at this moment. But the Two of Cups right underneath, oh, it's the Ten of Cups, sorry. But the Ten of Cups right underneath, though, for this, you may still be like consulting in like lovers or people you really care about, or people who make you emotionally happy about this. But I feel like maybe in the future there will be something that happens where you're kind of pushed to really reflect and really come up with the answers within yourself. And my advice on this, or the way that I see things, I really do think that maybe you guys do need some time to reflect. Don't get too in your head though, because I understand how that is too. There's a lot of air on this board right now, so a lot of thinking. And maybe you've realized too that you're better than whatever, you know, this situation is, and you don't really need to deal with people who make you feel this way, and maybe it's turning you into more of a cold, decisive person, when you really, like with the cold and indecisive with the Mother of Pentacles in reverse is what I'm getting at, is maybe Spirit's trying to remind you that you are still a kind person, even if the world isn't being kind to you, or if this situation isn't really something you want to be dealing with. That doesn't mean take it out on everybody, I guess. Be more like nurturing is the word I'm getting, but I wouldn't necessarily say nurturing to everyone, but be more nurturing to yourself and give yourself the love that you need at this time, because I think you're thinking yourself to death, for sure. Even though you have the right idea, I think that maybe you should put the idea down and stop worrying about it so much, because I can see it getting worse in the future. The worry and the self-doubt and the reflecting, I can see it really kind of consuming you, and Spirit's probably trying to nudge you in the direction of getting out there into the world and really showing how you feel. Whoa, hey, the Strength card just flew out of the deck while I was talking about it. So maybe, you know, just get your inner strength back and don't think that this thing can tear you down, because it can't. Like, you're bigger and better than it anyways, the situation that you're dealing with, and you will come out on top regardless. Even if you're stressing yourself out about it. Sorry. Another card just flew out, and it was the Four of Pentacles. So I think that you're safe. I think that you're secure. Don't worry too much about money if you are. Don't worry too much about this new future that you're planning for yourself if you are. Just kind of be patient and let the universe do what it does and let this wheel turn, and things will happen the way they're supposed to regardless on this situation. I don't think there's much you can do to prevent the situation from happening at all, if that makes sense, but you can make it easier on yourself by not stressing yourself out too much about how life is going for you right at this moment. So there is that. So now I am going to do a romance spread, and it is a he said, she said spread. Okay, so the way I do these is I pick one card for you, one card for your other person that you're romantically interested in, or the person that you're asking for romantic advice on. So the first person I got is the Rhinoceros, which is be strong and courageous. And the second person is the Whale, live as a fully conscious being. Now you can pick which person relates to you the most as we go, but one is you, one is the other person, and we're gonna do a spread seeing how this person is approaching you at this time, the problems they're having within themselves at this time, and the most likely future outcome between the two of you, and the mutual energy you two are and will be presenting to each other. So yeah, let's get right into it. I do kind of want to pick a theme for this though from the Moonology deck. So what is the theme for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising's romantic connection this week? We got emotions are running high, super moon. Alrighty. So let's hop right into it. So for now, I'm going to pick 3 cards for the Rhino. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords reversed. We have the Star. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And then I'm going to do the mutual energy, or the energy that the Rhino is bringing to the Whale. So this is, okay. What energy is the Rhino bringing to the Whale at this time? We have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so the mutual energy between the two, so the 2 middle cards, the Rhino's coming to the Whale with this energy. The Whale can see this. The Whale may not necessarily be able to see this side of things, though, and vice versa, if that makes any sense. And yeah, okay, so let's just get right into it. With the Rhino, I can see right now that there is some realization maybe of some toxicity in the Rhino's life, or within the Rhino's vicinity, like someone in the Rhino's life has this type of toxicity that the 5 of Swords does bring. I think somebody may have tried to pull a fast one on the Rhino, and the Rhino caught on to it very quickly, if that makes sense. But the Rhino necessarily isn't too beaten up over this, because with the Star and the Wheel of Fortune, I think that the Rhino realizes that this is the purpose that they are being brought on, and this is the path that they're being brought on, and life happens and things happen for a reason with the Wheel of Fortune. And the energy they're presenting to the Whale seems to be very positive with the 10 of Pentacles. I think they're offering them a lot of stability at this time, a lot of security, and a lot of, I'm not going anywhere type of energy. There's nothing you can really do to make me leave. And yeah, we'll see how the Whale is feeling about this right now, because I'm kind of curious. So how is the Whale at this present moment for the Sagittarius reading? We have the King of Swords. we have the King of Wands. Oops. And we have the Daughter of Wands reversed. Okay. So then we are going to pull a mutual energies, or the energy the whale is presenting to the rhino at this time. The conscious, sorry, that's probably more than one card. It was. We'll use, sorry, that happens a lot where my camera will just stop recording, so we'll just kind of go from there. These are the cards I got. I got the Moon and the World. Okay, so now let's talk about it a little bit. So I think the whale, right off the bat, is presenting themselves in a very calm, cool, collected, and confident manner. I think that the whale could be an air sign or it could be a fire sign right away. With these two popping out, I see a lot of fire energy here. It could be you, Sagittarius, but I can see you guys being, or not you guys, sorry, but the whale being very rational, very thought-oriented at this time, where they either have a lot of ideas right now about their life or the way their life is going, or their brains are running at like a mile a minute. I also can see that they are very confident in themselves. They know what they want and they know how to go about it. I can see a little bit of outspoken energy. I can see a lot of outspoken energy with the whale right now, where they are expressing these ideas and these feelings. Either like it's very bold and on their you can tell it's in their demeanor. You can sense it about them. They have that very strong and powerful energy about them right at this time. But with the Page of Wands in reverse, I can see maybe a lack of like a desire to communicate in some way or another. Maybe the whale is kind of like, they're like a silent force of they're a silent force of nature. I don't know if that makes any sense, but they're very strong, powerful in their element, but they're not necessarily running around and sharing it with everyone. They're very powerful, but they're keeping it to themselves. They're not necessarily letting their power or their energy or anything like exit them. It's not like they're giving this energy out. They're kind of keeping it within themselves, and they have this very strong sense of within themselves of like confidence and intelligence, and thoughts are like, there's a lot of them going on, but it's a lot of really like logical and right things to do at this time. And I can see that the air that the whale is giving to the rhinoceros at this time, I can see like there's an air of secrecy where something's being hidden with the moon. I feel like the whale may not be being 100% honest with the rhinoceros, but I can also see the whale is going through some type of closing of a cycle. And I think that they're presenting this to the rhino in some way, either in being very secretive or like intuitive, or talking about their dreams a lot or something like that, or psychic endeavors or things of that kind. But I could also see like the whale maybe giving subtle hints about this change of demeanor or this change of thought process or the way that they are now. This may not be like behavior that the whale exhibits often. That's very powerful in their own being behavior, but I feel like they're exhibiting this to the whale by some kind of like, hey, I'm changing. You may not know what it is that's changing about me, but I am changing. And this is how, like, you're gonna see it on me. Like, things aren't gonna be the same anymore. Not necessarily in a bad way, though. It's kind of like, that's the old me is over with, done and gone. And I can see, though, that the rhinoceros, at the same time, there's something that just changed within them and in their life. They may have realized that they are toxic, or that the whale is toxic, or that somebody in their life is preventing them from growing in the way that they need to grow. And this is like a very, like, they're sure of this, like, energy within themselves. Like, they're very confident in their ability to move on from this. But I feel like they're presenting to the whale, like, this sense of, I've got everything figured out. Nothing's gonna change about me. I'm very, like, solid and stable. I'm here for you. This is a lot of very positive energy that the rhino is bringing to the whale. The whale may have, or the rhino may have realized something about, like, a family member or friends or somebody that just wasn't right for them, and they cut them off, and they may, like, that whale may have been right about this. So they may be grateful to the whale right now. The rhino may be, because of this thing that the whale may have taught them. But I feel like the whale is more consumed with their own new, like, personality change, or their way of being, or they're very, I wouldn't say into themselves in a bad way, but I would say they're very, like, in their own power. They're not necessarily, like, they're not giving back as much as the rhino is giving to the whale, but we'll get into that a little bit with the challenge spread. This next row is going to be the challenges each person has, either most likely within the relationship or within themselves. We have the Chariot for the rhino right away. We have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Presents in this deck. And the King of Potions, so the King of Cups. Okay. And then how is the rhino presenting this challenge? Sorry, these cards don't like to stay still. How is the rhino presenting this challenge to the whale? We got two cards. We have the Five of Cups. And we have the Ace of Cups. So very interesting, to say the least, on how they're presenting this. But, okay, so right off the bat, what I was thinking, the rhinoceros's problem right at this moment is, I feel like they either may have a lack of motivation on what to do next in their lives. I feel like there may have been something that recently changed for them within their financial department, or within their, like, inclusion with other people, that may make them feel a little bit less capable of providing for themselves, even if they are providing this air of, like, security and financial well-being. I feel like they may be a little bit concerned about their finances, or, like, how other people receive them. They feel maybe a little bit discluded from the rest of the world, or their friends and family. And I feel like their emotions are a big problem within themselves now. The only thing being, the reason why I say this is because with the way they're presenting their emotions to the whale, with the Ace of Cups and the Five of Cups, it's kind of like a swing back and forth between, woe is me, my life sucks, I hate myself, blah blah blah, I have such a hard life, and that swing between, I really love you, like, you're my favorite person, let's do this, this, and this, all of that fun stuff. And I feel like it's a very flip-floppy attitude with the way that they express their emotions to the person, to the whale. I feel like they're being very, like, I wouldn't say bipolar, but, like, especially in the aspect of the way they feel about the other person, I feel like they're either being really depressing about stuff, or they're being extremely, like, hopeful and passionate and lovey-dovey, and, like, and it's such a flip-flop, and I think it comes from this insecurity of being left out, or forgotten about, or, like, not good enough. And I feel like they could be watching their lives move around them very fast paced, and they're not really sure how to keep up with this because they feel so like behind on everything, or just not like welcome or part of the group. So they may be expressing this emotion in a very flip-floppy way because they don't know themselves how they're supposed to feel. Because on the surface here, I see a lot of hope in this individual where they realize the potential they have or the other person is bringing to them, especially on a romantic playing field, to the point where they do express that love and they do have it within themselves. But at the same time, with that like woe is me card with this Five of Cups, like the whining and the crying and the my life sucks because of this and this, it could also be depression, like random feelings of depression. So you could switch back and forth between expressing your concerns. The Rhino, maybe you're expressing their concerns in a way that does not match up at all. Like it could just be one way one day, a total different thing the other day, and this could be confusing to the whale. We will see in a minute. Okay, so now I'm gonna get the challenge for the whale. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. We have the Knight of Candles. It's the Knight of Wands. Y'all have a lot of court cards over here. Multiple personality disorder, maybe? No, I'm just kidding. That's too many cards. What challenge does the whale face? And we have the Queen of Wands in reverse, or the Queen of Swords in reverse. Dang, you guys, like, this person, I have never seen this many court cards come out in a reading like this. I have not in a long time, at least. That's crazy. Okay. Anyways, now how is the whale presenting this challenge? To the Rhino. We have a Star in reverse. Okay. Okay. Sorry. This camera has stopped recording twice now during this video, so if things look a little bit different between certain cuts, like, that's my bad. I have to keep restarting. So, okay. Let's just go back over what we got. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. We have the Knight of Wands upright. We have the Queen of Needles reversed, so the Queen of Swords. And the Star reversed is the way that they're presenting this to the Rhino. Okay, so with all of these court cards on the table, I can see the whale. While the Rhino's kind of going through some bipolar stuff right here, I feel like the whale, in their emotions, more likely, or within the way they feel. The whale seems to be going through either some really great character change, where they're really changing fundamentally as people on the inside, or they're feeling so many, or they're looking at a situation from so many different perspectives that it could be. When I say multiple personality disorder, I don't mean it or take it offensively. It's just kind of like the whale has a lot of different opinions on how they should be feeling at this time, or the way they should be acting, or the air they put on in general. Because with the Queen of Cups reverse, I can see that feelings are a big problem right now, but I also feel like expressing these feelings is an even bigger problem. I feel like the whale may be so in their head right now. Emotions are running high, keep in mind. I feel like the whale could be so wrapped up within something they realize. I kind of want a clarifier for the whale. I haven't done this, but with all of these court cards, it's almost like, okay, interesting. The devil is what just flew out. So, okay, either the whale has realized they themselves, not or the devil, but they themselves are very toxic individuals, or the Rhino is a very toxic individual. And I feel like this is just me, or there's a very toxic like situation that there needs to be a new start. And I feel like this may have come as a shock to the whale because of all of like the stuff they're going through right now and the way that they are. Let me just scoot these to the side. Just wanted a little insight. The way that they are presenting themselves, the way they're feeling inside, I feel like, if anything, right now you guys are very bold in your thoughts and in your ideas. You know exactly what it is that you want. The whale does. They have this really good idea of what they want, but I feel like they're not able to word it correctly, or they're not able to present it with any type of emotion, or they really can't bring themselves to bring a lot of feeling into it, or they are struggling when it comes to like passion in general. They feel very passionate about something, and like maybe themselves, maybe they have finally come within a realization in this relationship that they know that they are confident and powerful, and they don't really need anyone to boss them around or dictate them, if that resonates at all. But when it comes to the way they're presenting this challenge to the rhino with the star reversed, I kind of see some type of, they know that they're not able to present all of what they're going through right now, and with this realization of the devil and the fool, it's like something is wrong, so I need to restart. I need to make a new leap of faith in a new direction, or in a new way. And I feel like the way they're presenting it with the world and the moon is like there's something going on. I can't really tell you what it is, but something's changing, something's ending. And I feel like when it comes to how they are presenting themselves to the rhino, I sense this hopelessness. Like they cannot translate any of these feelings or emotions to the rhino whatsoever, so they aren't even trying. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the future and what is the most likely outcome between the two people. We're going to start with the rhino. What's the most likely outcome for the rhino's life? And the Eight of Cups. I'll move that back in a minute. We have the Ten of Cups in reversed. I say reversed, and it's reversed. My bad. I noticed that. One more. I got three more, so. One more, we have the King of Cups. So we have this, like, consistent King of Cups energy with the rhino. So the rhino may be a water sign or have water placements, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or is embodying a very like a King of Cups as character. So they're very like emotionally not reserved, but they're very good with their emotions, expressing them. They kind of can keep them under control. But we'll just 1 second. How is the rhino presenting this? Presenting themselves to the whale in the future, Spirit. We have the Nine of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So, without pulling any more cards right off the bat, the thing that I can see is the rhino realizes that something is not right within the love life. I feel like the rhino is not feeling this type of connection anymore to the whale. I could be wrong, but we will see. I pull more cards for the future, but this is where I start out. The rhino may decide that it wants to look for emotional fulfillment somewhere else, or that there is some type of change or ending that is happening within the emotional fulfillment area of their life. I feel like the rhino, though, is keeping this. And this is where things get funny, and this is where this bipolar energy is coming back again. The rhino's kind of like, okay, when it comes to expressing their feelings, and it comes to expressing their emotions, I feel like they're very, like, not tactical. They're very, in their element. They know how to express the way they feel, especially when asked properly. And I feel like there may be some highlight on that area in their lives in the future, the feelings aspect. And I feel like the Rhino kind of has a better time articulating the way they're feeling or managing the way they're feeling than kind of like how they present it. I'm getting an air of codependency when it comes to the Rhino. They may feel like they need the Whale with this card in reverse. They can't really do it alone. I think they know that the Whale brings them emotional fulfillment. The Whale makes them very emotionally happy and makes them feel like a King of Cups. But without the Whale, I don't know if that's possible. I can see a lot of either the Rhino is wanting to change for the better, but can't seem to present this in a mature manner that really, I don't know how the Whale feels about this yet, but I feel like they're kind of coming off as an I need you-esque character. Like over here, it's really funny how this energy has switched. So maybe something triggers within the Rhino where they realize that this Five of Pentacles, like, fear and worry is becoming more real as, like, time goes on. I feel like maybe their finances may start to dip a little bit, or work isn't going as well as it used to, or they're not feeling as fulfilled at their job or financially or within their work life. So it's kind of bringing them into some kind of like emotional instability with finances where they're like, I really kind of need this person because this person kind of has things more together, don't they? But when the emotions running high card, I think that both of you at this time really need to focus on how you're feeling and how you present these feelings to the other person, because there's a lot of elements on feelings in this reading. So let's get how the Whale is going to present themselves in the future to the Rhino. 3 cards, or not present themselves, but how things are going to go in the future. Oops, we have the Hierophant. Okay. We have the Sun. Ooh, and we have the Hangman. And now how is the Whale presenting themselves to the Rhino? At this time, you have the Ten of Pentacles. So I will be pulling more cards because this is very interesting. The Whale is going through an extremely transformative period in their life. Let's just say that. The way that I got, let's just throw these back up here for a minute. The way that I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hold on, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, I did count those. 7 major arcana cards in the same spread. 8, sorry, I forgot this one. 8 major arcana cards in the same spread. 6 court cards, and then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Let's just, okay. In the way they're presenting themselves to the Rhino in the future. Okay, so if you're the Whale, you are going through an extremely transformative period in your life. You may be going through a spiritual awakening of some kind, or some, like, major turning point in who you are going to be in the future. I can see right now that you're questioning this, or the Whale is definitely questioning this, especially I think when it comes to the Rhino. I think the Whale, either the Whale is going to find some type of either like stability, or the tables have turned now. The Whale all of a sudden is presenting themselves as this very calm, collected, I've got my bag and more, and I'm not stressed about anything. I'm happy. I'm like comfortable within myself. I'm like, I have a secure foundation of family and friends, maybe like disregarding romance in this, but they have like that soul group that they can go to, and they're happy within themselves and within their lives. And either this is an extremely threatening like air to the like Rhino. I feel like the Rhino, what the Rhino can bring to the table at this point is that they have feelings but they are expressing them in like a very wrong and confusing way, which may be leaving the whale right now to do a lot of self-growth and self development, and it's leaving the rhino kind of in the dust. Or maybe the rhino has decided that the whale is turning into someone that they don't know anymore, or they can't relate to, or somebody that they really kind of need when it comes to like finances, security, or a home of some kind. You guys, this is gonna sound strange, but if the whale owns a home that the rhino lives in, I feel like in the future, in some way or another, the rhino will be expressing either how much that means to the rhino that they're living somewhere that the whale owns, or that the rhino kind of needs like to live with the whale in some way or another. Like without the whale they would, or without living with the whale they would crumble, and they would be sad, and like they would have to move on and all this stuff. Maybe they're like starting to really reconsider like this home that they live in with the whale. Maybe they can see this whale going on this personal growth, and the way that they are acting may be different by the day. That's also something I'm seeing. Maybe the whale could be really like witty one day and really funny one day, and one day they're really kind of just like boisterous and they're bragging and they're egotistical, and the next day they're crying, and the next day they're very cold and like emotionless, and the next day they're like passionate and love to live life and blah blah blah. Bipolar when it comes to character, not necessarily when it comes to emotion. And I feel like with the emotions running high card, I think that this is a common theme between the two of you. You're just expressing it differently. And while the whale is going through this extreme period of self-growth, I feel like the rhino is kind of losing a grasp on the whale, because I don't really see much, like, the only mutual energy I see between the two of you is this Ten of Pentacles. I feel like the whale may be expressing some type of happiness and love to the rhino, but we're going to pull a couple more cards on how they are presenting themselves to each other. We'll pull one more for the rhino. Okay, we have the High Priestess, and we'll pull one more for the whale. We have the Six of Swords in reversed. In reverse, sorry, not reversed. Okay, so I feel like the rhino right at this time, especially with these two cards, the intuition is very strong with the rhino. I think they can sense something is up over here with the whale. They may not exactly know what it is that's up with the whale, but they know something's up. And this may be where this neediness is coming from, and this like over clingy I love you type energy like all the time that they're giving. This, hey, I'm a really good provider energy. They're really trying to present themselves as like a catch, I feel like, to the whale in some kind. Even though on the inside they're very, very stressed about this thing that they know is changing within the whale's life, or within their own like sense of self. But with the Ten of Pentacles and the Six of Swords in reverse, I think we're going to pull one more card for the whale, because the whale spread is very interesting to me. And look, we got another court card, guys. We got the Six of Cups, which is not a court card. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is a court card. So I feel like, so when I look at these cards for the next, in the future, the whale, I feel like will have a better sense of self-security. I feel like they will spend more time taking care of themselves and loving themselves, and maybe spending time giving themselves love. That's what I can see. Or people from the past. Or there's been a past, like a past friend or a past romantic offer or whatever that's kind of brought this type of security to them. Or like the way things used to be with the rhino before all of these problems arise. Maybe that's what they're thinking of. And with the Six of Swords in reverse, I can sense that there's a lot that's changed within the whale, and there's a lot that is going to change with the whale. The whale will come to terms with this, but with the Hangman, I think that they're still kind of in that limbo where they don't really know what's going to happen or what they're going to do, but they are going with the flow and letting go if at all necessary. But the way they're presenting themselves to the Rhino, I think that they maybe have found a new love within themselves where they feel more giving and like able to reciprocate this love that the Rhino needs from them. But with the Six of Swords reversed, with the delaying of an ending, I can see that this isn't the end of their problems in the future. There is still something on the whale's mind that the whale has realized maybe within this process of learning themselves and learning to get to know themselves, that it's still not sitting right with the Rhino, even though the whale is now presenting a much more open, bright, and cooperative attitude when it comes to this person. But at the same time, they're still contemplating. They know that this isn't the end and that things aren't over yet, especially with the Six of Swords in reverse. So, yeah, that's your guys' romance spread. I hope that resonated for you at all. And now I'm going to get into the intuitive spread that I do, which is, one second, where I pull 5 cards from my Angel Oracle deck. I read them however they pop up. It may come as advice, it may come as a warning, it may come as a sign, it may come as, I don't know, random information that you weren't expecting to get or something. But nonetheless, it is an intuitive spread. So I will, not that the rest of them aren't intuitive, but this one can be random. That's for sure. Okay, so can I get 5 cards for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people on something they may need to know? Coming up, we have the 4 of Cups. Okay, we have Page of Air. Page of Swords. 10 of Wands. The Star. And the Page of Earth. Okay, so Sagittarius people. First thing I got, you are going through a period of learning, and whatever knowledge you come across at this time is very important for you in your path ahead. If there's something you've been dying to learn about or study or get to know or anything of that kind, research at all, do it. This is spirit sign from you that there is something worth studying or worth learning about at this time. It could be a life lesson as well. Also, don't be too picky when it comes to your options, and don't be too picky when it comes to, like, the things that are in your life at this time. Or, actually, as I was saying that, I got the reverse meaning in my head. It was, be more picky when it comes to the people you let into your life, the people you talk to and share information with at all. And the things that stress you out and wear you out at the end of the day, the things that, like it could be a job that is way more difficult than the pay. That's a 10 of Wands situation. Or a person who is way more stressful to you than they are good. That's a 10 of Wands situation. Be more picky about the things you deal with and the people you deal with when it comes to that. It is definitely that. Or maybe be less picky. If you've been extremely picky lately and you've been like canceling out new lessons or life growth, I would maybe stop with that. Or when it comes to the information that you listen to, definitely be picky when it comes to like the places you find your information from or the sources you go to or whatever. Not everybody is trustworthy, so keep that in mind. And 10 of Wands is you are allowed to not have to deal with things that stress you out constantly. I'm not saying like just quit your job and, you know, do nothing because it's stressful, but you are allowed to like put up with certain things, and you're allowed to set boundaries in your life. And if there's people that are overstepping these boundaries at all, you don't have to put up with that shit. You are allowed to take some time off for yourself. You are allowed to get into the things that you are interested in. And that is that on that. Okay, so now we're going to do the closing spread, which is some advice from Spirit leaving this reading and what they want you to know. Okay, Spirit, can I get a closing message for my lovely Sagittarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus individuals watching this spread? We have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Don't be too nervous about that. And then we have the Moonology card. We have work through your fears. Okay, so there may be something, especially in those past couple readings where we were talking about romance. So that's like the third time this video is cut out. I'm sorry again. Okay, so I'm just going to start from where I was. There's going to be something that happens in your guys' life soon. Something is going to change. It may end. And I would say Spirit is giving you this advice to not be scared. And if there are things that you are scared of, now is the time to work through them and process them and release them. You are changing, Sagittarius. There are big things happening for you. All of you in the future, definitely. And right now, this may be a time where things are really difficult and they don't really seem to make sense, or you feel like you can't really handle all of this. And Spirit is trying to tell you that this is like, there's a reason that all of these obstacles are being put in your path in the first place, is because you needed to grow and work through the things that were stopping you before. Whether this is romantic or with a project in your life, maybe you are nervous to start living your dream. And maybe that's why all of the things that are happening right now are preventing you from living your dream. Now is the time to clear these things out of your life or work through them. I'm going to get one more card from Spirit because I feel like they want me to share something from this deck. Be relaxed and independent. Okay. Also keep in mind that, like, this is a really good card for Sagittarius in the first place. You know, just being a cat. Relaxed and independent. They're not too worried about everything that's going on. They can handle themselves, and they don't mind being themselves or with themselves. And they don't really need anyone else. Spirit is trying to tell you that you will survive through this. You know how cats have 9 lives and make it through just about anything, no matter what? That could be a part of it too, you know? You really do need to work on these things that are bothering you though, Sagittarius. If there are endings you're postponing or problems that you aren't really choosing to see or work through, now is a very good time to start pushing yourself through the hardships, and things will get a lot easier from then on out. So, alright, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it resonated with you. I will be posting more as time goes on. I really enjoy doing readings like this, and if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment or just keep tuning in. All that really matters to me is that you guys are getting something out of this, and I really enjoy bringing that to you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be back again with more videos, and I hope you have a good week. Bye.